No more shop. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am over at the shop and I need to finish cleaning everything out of it. So, like I said in a few previous videos ago, I needed to clean the shop out because I was just pretty much storing stuff in here and I needed it over at the junkyard, but it was also just kind of costing me money and I wasn't really getting a return on that investment. So what I need to do today is pull these pallet racks down and then get everything ready to move. And I think I'm gonna have to move all the pallet rack stuff with my trailer, and it'll be easier to move these air compressors and that parts washer, and the press is something I really need over at the shop. The press will be easier to move on the trailer because I don't have to lift it all the way in the bed of my truck. And all this other junk over here will probably just be outside, as well as these pallet racks. I'll probably just leave them outside because I don't need any more inside the shop. I'm really happy that I'm gonna have my engine hoist over at the shop, because then I won't have to bring the forklift in all the time to lift stuff around. This will be really nice, and we'll have, you know, a bunch of other stuff that I've had here that I really have needed over at the other shop, but I haven't really wanted to dedicate a whole bunch of time into moving all this stuff out of the way to get the press over there, because the VR4 was in here. I would have had to pull it out. It would have been, then I would have had to put it on my trailer. It just would have been a nightmare. So this Synchro, I need to finish wiring Megasquirt. I've said this a few times in videos, but I have an adapter. This is not the factory intake manifold, so I'm doing coil unplug. It has an aftermarket intake manifold. This fuel rail that came with it really isn't that great, so I'll probably end up making it work, but I really don't like the design of it. And then I have a throttle body adapter to like an LS1 92 millimeters. So then Megasquirt will wire into all GM sensors and it'll be really nice. So this will be getting done because I don't want it sitting over at my shop and taking up space, because it's gonna sit where the VR4 is sitting right now, and then I don't want that space just clogged up all the time. So I'll get this thing busted out, but I need to have that thing welded up. Since I still don't have a TIG welder, I need to just buy one, but I've just been busy with a bunch of other stuff. So let's get to work, get this, you know, get these pallet racks tore down, get everything ready. I was thinking about having like a garage sale or yard sale, but I don't know if I really want to sit here for a whole day and waste a whole day, and then maybe nobody's gonna buy any of this stuff, because some of this stuff is pretty large and some of it's, you know, I'd want a decent amount for it. So I really doubt, like the pallet racks would probably be like $1,000. I don't think anybody would buy them. That parts washer, I think that thing is like a $5,000 parts washer. I probably want like $2 grand for it. Nobody would probably buy that. The air compressor, same thing. So we'll just get it all over the junkyard and I'll start going through it, getting it all buttoned up, and just kind of go from there. But yeah, let's get everything torn down. Once I get this whole shop clean, everything out of it, then I can sweep up the floor and I'll be 100% out of here, which is gonna be awesome. I now have all the pallet racks torn down, and there's so much more room now that they're not up, taking about, I'd say almost 4 to 5 feet against the wall in the front and the back. You can see the Volkswagen and how much more space is over here. So I'm glad that those are down, because as one person taking pallet racks down, it's kind of a pain, because you have to, there's hooks in them, and you have to, and it has a spring, so you have to pull it out, then lift it up and get it so it doesn't spring back in when you do the other side. And then you have to, like the last piece, you have to make sure it's not gonna, they're not both gonna fall over. So was kind of a process to get all that down, but I need to go grab my trailer from home. And what I need to do first is, if you guys remember a few videos ago, when I moved the Ranger over to the junkyard, I picked up like one of those multi-tools. It actually punctured one of my brand new trailer tires, so I need to put a plug in that tire. I just have been kind of lazy and I haven't ordered a new tire yet. So I probably should get on that, get that new tire ordered. But I think for the time being, that plug, this stuff isn't very heavy, should be perfectly fine. And we can get all the pallet rack stuff over to the junkyard. Just finished fixing the trailer tire. I put a plug in it. Actually, I had to put 2 plugs in it. It doesn't look that happy, but I think it will work to move everything over. Like I said, I just need to order another one. I've been kind of lazy and just haven't done it. I just need to get on that. I'm gonna let it dry overnight because I use contact cement with the plug, and that actually glues it in and pretty much bonds it. But if it's leaking air, it'll never seal up. That I had over at the other shop, and I tore them down because I was moving, and I could set stuff under them on that one on the top, and I have 2 of them now. So I'll probably end up using these just for, I'm not sure if I'm going to use it for the VR4 or the charger or what. I have this whole shelf right here for Hellcat and charger parts. So I want to kind of organize stuff. All this stuff right here is the Durango, and that's some 240SX, some Pulsar. Maybe I'll put all the Pulsar parts on these 2 shelves. Got the tire fixed. We have the trailer hooked up to the F350, and hopefully the tire doesn't blow out. So I now have all the pallet racks, the press, the parts washer loaded on the trailer, and I was gonna throw all this wood in the back of my truck, but I think it'll be a little bit easier once the trailer is disconnected. I also am gonna throw this air compressor in the back of my truck when I do the wood, and I'm probably gonna end up doing a whole separate trip for this blasting cabinet. I'll probably take it over there and just throw it in the scrap pile, maybe take some stuff off of it that I might use, like fittings and stuff like that. But for the most part, that blasting cabinet is just pretty much seen better days. So, and then when I do the air compressor, I'm going to do the engine hoist, and we'll grab the Golf by itself on the rollback. The trailer 100% empty. Everything is out of the back of my truck, and I have the press finally in the shop, and I'm very happy that this is finally here because I have been needing to use presses, and it just it's just really inconvenient going other places just to have like a pinion pressed out or a pinion pressed in, or like I had to go to the Dodge dealership to have those ball joints pressed in. So this is going to be really nice to have this here. One thing that I'm kind of concerned about, so I haven't used this for about 10 years, and when I last used it, I had this cylinder rebuilt, or before I stopped using it, I had this cylinder rebuilt. I took it over to the place. One of my old friends, which I don't talk to anymore, was supposed to pick it up. I think my dad ended up having to pick it up. And then my old friend was supposed to put this together, and he never did. So when I got back, it was just like a bunch of parts laying around, and it's been dry for like 10 years. So hopefully the seals didn't crack. If they did, I'm gonna have to have it rebuilt, and then I'll have this press working once again. And this is a really nice press because this thing slides back and forth. It just has a lot of adjustability. The one thing I wish it had, which I might just add externally, is a thing that lifts up this this base with a cable, so it'll be easier to do with one person. The other thing that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to sell it, this is a parts washer. So the tranny case from the Trackhawk, this would be perfect to clean it, but I need to wire it up. I haven't used it for 10 years. It needs a capacitor, and then I can fill it up. The one good thing is I emptied and drained everything out of it, so it should be good to go. I just need to wire it up, and I was thinking about putting that in that corner over there because the hose is over there. I could, run it, then whatever I need to spray off, I could spray off outside, and it won't be a huge mess. It'll be a very convenient location for it. And then the press, I was thinking about moving all of this stuff right by these pallet racks, and then I can put the press right here. It won't take up any, it won't really take up any room, and it'll be very easily accessible. So let's go back over to the shop and grab the rest of all the other junk that's left over there. I didn't think this wood was going to take up this much of my 8-foot bed in my truck, but I filled all of the pallet rack wood in the bed as well as just some miscellaneous stuff. I'm gonna have a rollback come pick up the Golf Synchro. So we got the Golf Synchro on the rollback heading over the junkyard. For some reason it turned into like a blizzard. Not really a blizzard, but it snowed a lot in the past hour. Yeah, so We're gonna unload this. I now finally have the last load of stuff from the little shop in the back of the F-350. And this was quite a bit of work moving all of this heavy stuff by myself. I'm glad I had the engine hoist, because if I didn't have that, I most likely would have had to rent a forklift. I probably should have done that anyway. But now the shop is finally cleaned out and I can finally stop having to worry about having stuff over here. And just, you know, when I had this thing, it was great when I just had this by itself, and then I got the junkyard shop and they were supposed to clear out the junkyard shop, and then 6 months later I had to end up clearing everything out and I had to renew my lease here. So I couldn't get out of the shop until this month, which it was a whole nother year. And now I'm very excited because I don't have to worry about the stuff here. The one big thing that I really had to worry about was this shop doesn't have an alarm system and it doesn't have cameras. The junkyard shop, I have a full alarm system, I have cameras, so if anybody breaks in, I'm gonna know who did it. And there's also cameras at the next junkyard up the street and the other one down the street. So whoever's, you know, gonna break in is gonna get caught. But I had, you know, I had the FD, the GTO, the Hellcat, the VR4, Golf Synchro, a bunch of stuff that I really cared about, a bunch of parts. Star20 VBL down here, which is like a $20,000 engine. And just really always was in the back of my mind, because I didn't come down here a lot after I started moving stuff into the junkyard shop. Came down here maybe once every month or maybe once every other month, whereas I'm always at the junkyard every day, even sometimes at night, which is really, really nice. Now I'm gonna have my press down there. I'm really happy that's finally down there. And I'm gonna have everything down there. I don't have to worry about hopping back and forth between shops and not having stuff and having cars at different shops. So I'm gonna end the video here. I'm very excited that this shop is finally cleared out. I don't have to pay rent here. I don't have to worry about stuff being down here. One thing I did say was I do not like moving, and I'm gonna have to move soon. Not probably in the next year or so, because I wanna either build a big house shop like I've been saying. Prices have just been too high. Really didn't make sense to build one, you know, in the last couple of years. But coming up, I'm either gonna build a shop house or buy a, you know, a shop complex property and just have one of them as all my stuff, and then I'll just work out of there, which will be really cool. But it's just nice not having to worry about this, and hopefully it will be the last time that I have to move stuff, because it's a very, very big pain having to move all this stuff. But I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.